Operation completed.
Hey, Will. Hopefully you can hear me. I've been wanting to look at this object for about a month. It's been so crummy here. This is on the Gemini Orion border. And then let's see, there's another sharpless object. That is known as, I get the right size, sharpless 2-254. I was off and on with solar, but the atmosphere was so turbulent because of the winds. Uh, couldn't really see too much. Uh, there were a few nice prominences, but that's about all you could see. And the nice filament that was on the surface about a week ago had moved off the limb. Let me see if I can get some information on this object up on the screen. Okay. It's magnitude 12. It's in Orion, but like I said, it's right on the Gemini border. Let's see if I can go with a longer exposure and maybe stop. I'm on 20 seconds now. Let me go to 25. I'm going to loop and maybe I'll increase the sharpness to 100. Yeah, the sun was very quiet today. There was a small filament on, I guess it was the northern limb, very small filament, barely visible. I'm going to average in some longer exposures into the shorter exposures. It's a pretty neat little target. It was one of the ones I had on my list. I created an observing list in Sky Tools, and it was one of the ones on the list. How you doing, astronomy dude? The first clear night I've had in since the eclipse. It's a very pleasant evening here. Hi, Graham. I was just trying to look for some things that I hadn't looked at either at all before or something I hadn't looked at in a long time. This was an object I had never looked at before, the double nebula in Orion. It's pretty interesting. Take that off, you can barely see sharpless 2-254. There's also another nebula that you can see in the DSS image. It's one right here. It's like a detached part of the eastern nebula. But I like the western one. It almost looks like the Triffid. Well, let me see. The next thing I'm going to try would be let me try the jellyfish. I haven't done that from home, I don't think, ever. I see 443. Let me see if it's in my little list of things. Oh, well, let me dial it in. Oh, I see 443. Search for object information. Action menu. Interactive atlas. And let's slew to and center at cursor.
Telescope slew into target.
It shouldn't be moving that
Telescope
far.
slew complete.
Okay, let me stop the stack. Let me see how this is positioned in the dome. Wait for the next exposure. So I want to move a little bit. Let's see. Flip that.
Telescope slew into target. Telescope slew complete.
I just moved a little bit. Let's see. See if I moved it in the right direction. I think so. I think the jellyfish is going to be at the right, lower right. And Propus is going to be the star coming in on the left. Wait for the next exposure, see if it puts it all in. Right, yeah, there it is. Okay. So now let's do some stacking, and let me do a new white balance. Let me see what I'm going to do with the histogram. Boy, let me take that name off too. Okay, to erase the name. Yeah, I have the 0.75x Ritchie accretion focal reducer in the scope, which changes the f8 to f6. And then I have the universe focal reducer on the camera itself. So I'm figuring I'm about f4 maybe. Hi, Ski. Let me move that. Hi, Bob. Sorry you had so many problems last night. That figures. Just doesn't work for an audience. I need to try to get this darker. Let me see what's going on up there. This is almost at the zenith. I'm gonna try to darken this up a little bit. Let's see. Where's the histogram? Bob, what kind of download and upload speeds do you have with your internet provider? Last Friday, a week ago, my wireless router died and I had to go to the cable company to swap it out. And when I did, I ended up increasing my speed from 100 Mbps to 200. It's crazy. They doubled the download rate, but it actually slowed the upload. Go figure. Yeah, I get about 215 Mbps down and 10 Mbps up. That's with Charter. You should be fine. I had about 140 or 115 to 140. And when I changed, now I have 215 down. That's a nice structure in the jellyfish. And the internet gods can be fickle. Well, this is the jellyfish. I don't know if I can get the monkey head. I'm going to try the monkey head next in Orion 2175. Let's see. NGC 2175. 2175? 21. Guess that's what it is. Action menu, interactive atlas, and that's what it is.
Telescope slewing to target.
That wasn't very far at all. For
Telescope slew complete.
So let's stop the live stacking. And see what happens with the next image.
Operation completed.
All right, it's there. Well, there is the monkey's head. Now let me see if I can play with it and get it. And then where is the color adjustments? Increase the gamut. I say 1.4 maybe. And do an average stack now. Might have clipped too much. Let me move that. Okay. Let me see how that's sitting inside the domes. So that's the monkey's head. So let me See if I can darken it up any. That's not looking bad at all right now. Hey, Rusty, glad you could join in. Last night at this time, it was pouring. You know, who else? We have a few guests also logged in. Yeah, I posted a little animated GIF. I grabbed a little small screen recording and then I clipped out the non-flashes, so it wasn't flashing as fast as the what I posted, but it was still pretty good. Yeah, I think what's going to happen to us, Rusty, is that it's clear tonight, but then tomorrow the clouds are supposed to come in again. So I've done the monkey head, jellyfish, and the double nebula. We're supposed to get into the high 40s tonight. It was 80 something yesterday. Exposure right now is 25 seconds and the gain is 80 out of 160, or whatever the new scale is now. It's half gain. It's 8,000%, which is half gain. I'm looking, there was a few other galaxies I wanted to look at earlier. What is it, R273? No. Yeah, this is a nice object, the monkey's head. Let me see, how high is this target I want to go to next? Right now it is 47 degrees up and a little bit north of due west. Where was that, Bob? Let me see. This is in Andromeda. Okay. I want to slew to and center in chart. I'm going to an ARP galaxy.
Telescope slew into target.
Means meridian flip.
Telescope slew complete.
Okay, so I guess now I could stop the stacking. I should have done that before. Okay, stop the stack, erase the name, erase the name, and let's see what happens. Lord, something doesn't look right. Let me do a white balance. Okay. Trying to figure out what that is at the bottom. Let me go to a bright star and see, with the meridian flip, I'm probably off.
Telescope slew into target.
I'm going to Gamma 2 Andromeda.
Telescope slew complete.
No, it's not bad. And let me change the exposure time stop. Oop. There. Let's see. Since I did a meridian flip, will east be west and west be east? I got it right. Okay. Okay, so let me do a sync. What the heck is going on?
Telescope synced.
Oh, come on.
Telescope synced.
Okay, now let me go back to the target. Okay, there's the target right there. Okay. Slew to and center at curve.
Telescope slewing to target.
Okay, let's see if that does it.
Telescope slew complete.
And now let me go to long exposure. Stop, and let's go to 15. Let's see what 15 does. This is a pair of interacting galaxies. Oh, yeah. They're there, but boy, they are small. Let me increase the exposure time. Stop. Let's go to 30 seconds. Loop. The target of those two galaxies right in the center. It's an interacting pair of galaxies. And that may be too much. Let me when I get okay, maybe now I can start showing some detail. Okay, so let me lower the white. Let me label them for you. And let's see what happens. I'm going to start average stacking now. Okay, let me see. The top one is they call them ARP 273. Let me see. Don't need the text that big. ARP 273. I'm going to bring over the DSS image. So when there's some nice spiral structure in it, and then there's a little it's interacting with the galaxy to its lower right. And this is the galaxy that has a little hook coming up. And you can see faintly there's an arm from this one coming around here. And then coming off the core, there's an arm going around there. These are, what's the magnitude of these galaxies? 13.8, 340 million light years away. I don't think I'd ever looked at that one before.
Telescope slewing to target.
I moved over to 891.
Telescope slew complete.
It's relatively close. Over in this neck of the woods. Now that's strange. What is that? What is this? Picked up an alien. A little bit, all depends on the weather. This is the first time I've been able to do anything since the eclipse on June 20th. I mean, January 20th. It's been terrible weather here. What is that crazy? That makes no sense. Let me get my flashlight. There's a light leak coming in somewhere. I just shined a light on the camera. I'm trying to figure out what's causing that. That's strange. Yeah, I was shining the flashlight on the camera in the back and then on the focal reducer, and that's when I got all of this glow. So there's light. Oh, it's probably going in through the fans in the back of the camera. I mean, back of the telescope too. That makes no sense. I might have to take a focal reducer out to see what causes that to go away, because I've used the same combination before and never had that artifact appear. That's confusing. Yeah, it has to be, but it just appeared. It wasn't there when we were looking at the monkey's head and the double nebula and all that was not there. That's crazy. Okay, I may have to take something apart to find out what's going on. It is something, light getting in somewhere causing that. Yeah, it was on the double galaxy, which is in the same area of the sky. That doesn't make sense. Let me see what else is on this list. That maybe I'll go to a different area of the sky and see if it shows up. MCG. This is over in Andromeda right now. Yeah, I've used this before, and I didn't see it earlier tonight. Yeah, Bob's got the internet gods. I got the optical gods, I guess it is. The only thing I could do is I could take something out of the system and see what happens. Or I could turn the camera relative to the focal reducers and see what happens. Yeah, I see that also, Rusty. Yeah, the halo is like out here. I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, 891 looks good, but okay, turn to snacking. Let me try something else. Let's see. How bright was this? That was 13.2. This is in Persis. Slew scope 2 and center in chart.
Telescope slewing to target. Telescope slew complete.
See, I've moved the scope and we still have the same defect showing up. See, it's there, but it's not as intense. Hey, Dewey. What I'm looking at here is an edge-on galaxy. Right by this bright star. Where's my histogram? This is, what's the galaxy's designation? This is, see, that same defect is still there. This is MCG 67. And it is, I'm going to put the information up on it. It's also known as a UGC and a PGC, magnitude 13.2. Oh yeah, Rusty, it's still there. Let me zoom out. You see it at the bottom? But it's not as obvious. It's not as bright. So something's reflecting off of who knows what. Let me do a white balance. Yeah, Dilly, it's crazy. See, I got that same halo again. And that streak is at the bottom. But yeah, there's the galaxy right in the middle. And it is, how far away? It is 200 million light years, 0.2 giga-years away. It could be. There was a lot of high haze all today, and the atmosphere was really crummy. Solar was terrible. I tried doing solar earlier and got nowhere. Well, there's more than, there's plenty of comets up right now. Let's see. The brightest comet right now is Witteren. Current comet sort by magnitude is Witteren, and it's rising in Ursa Major right now. Awamoto is in Auriga. No kidding, Rusty. Let me see. Let me see if I can go to Awamoto.
Telescope slewing to target. Telescope slew complete.
Let me raise the pier. Okay, let's see. Oh, man. Make clear the shutter. I'm aimed almost directly overhead. So let's see what happens. See, yeah, you can see the glare again. The ray in the bottom right and the reflection in the bottom left. And there's also in the top right, so it's like symmetrical. It might be a reflection internally to the multiple. Whoa, that's bright. Don't tell me we lost our skies. Hey, Nino. Let's see if I'm getting a reflection off the dome. I might have to do a complete 180 on the dome. Let's see, maybe it'll be clear now. Let's see. Okay, I give up. Where's the comet? The last time I looked for this comet, I couldn't find it. Hi, Marie. Oh, golly. Let me go to this star. I just can't believe I keep missing this comet. There's a diffuse glow, but the sky tool says the comet is only 4 minutes of arc in size.
Telescope slewing to target.
I'm slowing to a nearby star,
Telescope slew complete.
and that star is not that far off. Stop. Boop. I know, Marie, you've looked at this comet, and it looked a lot better for you than it did for me. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there it is. It says I should be right on it. I should be synced. Sync
Telescope synced. Telescope slewing to target.
So move back to the
Telescope
comet.
slew complete.
It says it's right off of a star. And there's a star right near the center. Let me go with a longer exposure. Let me change the description too, because that's not what we're looking at. Okay, so let's maybe this comet really doesn't exist. I'm going to go with a ridiculously long 30 seconds. You shouldn't need 30 seconds to see it, but what the heck. And where is my histogram? Histogram's at default. I mean, it should be right in the center of the field of view. I mean, I see a diffuse glow here. I mean, that's got to be the comet, that big glow right there. That's got to be it. Well, Olub, there's a comet. That's Comet Iwamoto, a big diffuse glow. I'm going to do that. Let's see. Let me erase that. Yeah, I like that thing you did, Marie, with taking 15-second exposures and stacking them for 30 minutes and getting a nice trail. I don't know if the comet's moving at the same rate it was when you did that one. That was pretty interesting. And that little Rusty, that little faint ghost line is still right there. So there's something in the optical train that's causing that reflection. Yeah, Marie, I think it's moving a lot slower than it was back when you caught it. Uh, that was almost at the time when it passed closest to Earth. Now it's, I guess, receding from us. It's moving slower. I'm still. So this is in the constellation Orion. Yeah. Hmm. Well, I don't think we're going to see very much motion tonight. What else? No generated list, February 20.
Telescopes looming to target. Telescope slew complete.
Okay, just turned all the way around the world. Okay. Not the best. It was pretty turbulent all day today. Um, and I'm trying to figure out why the sky is washing out on the horse head. Oh, there it is. Okay. You see, I still have that ray. Okay, let me start doing some average stacking. Oh, that wasn't good. I don't think I need 30 seconds for the horse head. Let me go to 20. I don't normally use that high of a gain. Digital binning 2. Okay. Yeah, the histogram looks a little better. Let me go back to 30 seconds. Yeah, the histogram didn't look right. Yeah, let me do another white balance. See, red was at minus 30, minus 34, 0. Let's see what happens with the white balance. Okay, that's better. And there's the stupid little spike at the bottom left, bottom right corner again, and a mirror on the top left. Okay, where is my sharpness? Too high. Let me reduce it to about 50. Cooling should, I think I had the cooling set to 0. Yeah. Now let's do some live stacking now. Yeah, I gotta find out what's causing that. Well, this is stacking. I'm going to go take a quick look outside to see if I can see any haze in the sky. Hmm. Yeah, I think I pushed the red a little bit too far to the so I'm going to move the red to about -12. Where is gamma's at 1.4. I can reduce saturation a little. Let me reduce the brightness of here too. Boy, it is, something's not right. Yeah, because you can see there's a mark here, something here, something here. I have no idea what's causing that. You zoom in enough, you can eliminate it. So where did the red end up? Yeah, the red's just about on top of everything else. I can move the red a little bit more, maybe -15. I wonder if it's the filter. I'm using that Orion SkyGlow Imaging Filter. I'm wondering if it's causing those spikes. It's one way to find out. To take it out and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, it's a brand new filter. Ryan's exchanged the other filter I had because it wouldn't thread properly onto the 2-inch adapter. So they sent me a new filter. This is the first time I'm using it. Great, I just put my finger on the filter. Okay. Let's see what happens. Well, it has a big fingerprint on it now. Well, I guess I have to change the exposure time since the filter obviously changed. I'm gonna go to 15 seconds and see what happens. The only thing I did was take the filter out. Probably gonna have to refocus. Okay, let me go to Allen Attack.
Telescope slewing to target. Telescope slew complete.
Okay, so let me put the focusing mask on. Let's see. Focus is not that far off. That's pretty good. Okay. So off to
Telescope slewing to target. Telescope slew complete.
okay, it's right in the center, so let me go back to longer exposure. Stop. Oop. My God. What is going on? Is there that much stuff in the sky? Gee. Do another color balance. I wouldn't have thought the filter made that much of a difference, but obviously it did. Oh, that's amazing what the difference the filter made. I'm gonna go down to 40 gain. I like the view with the filter a lot better, but I think that filter was causing those spikes. Okay, what happened just now? Oh, how about getting on the other side of the curve? I may end up having to contact Orion about their filter, guys and gals. That filter was 2+ inches from the focal reducer. Well, this is interesting, testing that filter to see what the difference is. But as you see, there are no radial lines in the corners of the field like they were when the filter was in place. I might have to put the filter back in and see if the lines return. Very interesting. Just increase the exposure to 25. I don't think I'm average stacking. Hope not. No. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with that filter, folks.